I'm not looking forward to this video, and I think with what you can see on screen, that will tell you everything you need to know. Hello everyone, welcome to Genk, where we're starting a 3-hour endurance race. We're waiting for the Belgian flag to drop, then we're underway. Here we go, it's on the air, and there we go. We try a few hops here, trying to gain some speed. We didn't have the greatest of starts, and we are already down one position, starting from P38 here. We're on the outside, someone has a good launch and gets alongside there, but they're very tentative into the braking zone, and we're on the outside trying to gain some positions. We are on the wet racing line, but you can see everyone just fighting for position, and actually someone there spinning around. We go on the outside. You're only allowed to do that at the start, and that gains us a few positions up to P33, even doing really well, up 3 positions now. P35, you can see it's just changing everywhere. We're on the inside, so we try to go for the apex, but we do wash wide here. Again, someone else almost hit them, and we just managed to avoid them. They were going backwards there, and we're trying to keep it on the black stuff. Just keep it on the road, that's the most important thing. And where we end up, it's gonna be okay. We just don't want to be lost, and on this next apex we should hug that inside curb, but we're not, so we're gonna do that later in the race. We get overtaken on the outside, turns the inside. Again, someone just facing the wrong way. A lot of people here spinning out. Our goal with the people that we are here today, we're just trying to get not lost, which should be doable, as we're now on the inside again, which means a lot of understeer, trying to get through the corner, trying to get on the power early, a lot of oversteer, and now we're gonna get mugged from behind. A lot of people around us, one on the right, one on the left, someone behind us. We get a little tap from behind, it's just minimal, but that means we go off track, our first off track of the day, and I am really annoyed. You can see it's really difficult to get back on track here, very wet, a lot of people have gone off, so I'm gonna get out of the kart and we're gonna try to push it back onto the road, but it's really difficult with the shoes I have on. Karting shoes, of course, not the best when you're in low grip conditions. You want to be in the kart there, and you can see me then when I get onto the track, hit the steering wheel quite hard. I'm very annoyed. I'll shake the steering wheel a bit, trying to clean the tires, but this means we're definitely lost, and that means also my headspace is a bit bad right now. I was feeling really well with that start, but now I'm feeling really bad that I've thrown it away, although I couldn't really do anything about it. It was a really tiny tap on the back, not that much, but when you're in a braking zone there, you just go straight on, and that's really annoying. I'm gonna try to regroup, repack myself, and then try to set some quick laps, maybe end this stint in not last. Basically, that's the goal, trying to get at least one person before the end of the stint, but it's going to be difficult. You have seen me go off track quite a few times in the intro, so you might already know how it goes, but we'll just try to do our best as we're now going through these very wet corners. You can see the group in the distance, that's everyone still quite closely packed together, going through the left, and then we take too much speed though, trying to make up for the lost time, and we go off track again. We just slide wide, no idea why. I feel like I'm doing the same every lap, but it's not working. We have to get out of the kart again, trying to push, but again, just no grip on the wet grass. We're just using the brake now to kind of just lift up the kart, trying to slide it towards the track. This is a very difficult, and there's no marshal here to help me, so it's gonna take a little bit, and at this pace we might already get lapped on lap 2, which is of course not what we would like, so we're just still trying to get that kart on track. Luckily, in the wet condition, a lap does take quite long, trying to get in again, but we're just not quite far enough, and we actually also use the accelerator here a little bit, and that helps us get on track. We hop back into the kart, and there we go. Now we can continue our lap 2, and still, of course, we have quite a long stint in front, about 35-40 minutes in the kart. Then my friends will get me off the track, and one of them will take over. For now, it's my job to get as quick of a lap time as I can, and through the apex here again, some understeer and then some oversteer. We're trying to hit that curb on the inside, but can't quite manage to make it work just yet. We of course have seen other people's in practice and qualifying using that curb, and I should be doing what they are doing. As now on the right you can see everyone approaching, the leader already quite close to me and close to lapping me. Let's try to avoid that for as long as we can, but it will probably not take that long as we go through the right-hander here. Managed to stay on track this time. Of course, no one to push me off, which is always a good thing, because if someone's behind you and pushes you off, that's just annoying, and I'm still a bit annoyed that I haven't on lap 1. I think I could have stayed with the pack for quite a bit longer, or at least with the people around me, if I was still in between them, because I could follow their lines, do what they do, and help me get quicker by just following them, following their lines. But nothing we can do about it now. We go on to lap 3 and we are trying everything we can, but of course both of my laps I went off track. That means we don't have a really good best lap yet, but we're going to be trying to get below that 2-minute lap time, as we actually can see our first yellow flag in front of us. So that means someone off track. They're actually running towards their cart. They might have lost something or forgotten something, and now they're back into their cart. So that might actually mean we're not last anymore, which is something that we want to be. But unfortunately, going through this corner, we make the same mistake as last lap. We go straight on and we just can't help it. Again, my hand goes up in annoyance. I just can't figure out quite how that happens. I feel like I'm doing the same thing like I did in practice, but of course, the thing is, I'm just taking a little bit more speed, braking tiny bit later, and maybe not getting on the right racing line. And that means there's no grip, and we're now using the accelerator a little bit, trying to get over that mud patch. It's not quite working, but it's working better than just pushing the car. So we're kind of using the throttle and trying to get onto the track here, as we're actually getting lapped by the whole field now. So that feels quite bad. Lap 3, and we're already a lap behind. My teammates, looking at the timing sheet and looking at the track, are also wondering what's going on. They can see me off track again. They're just wondering why I'm going off track so much, and I think I'll apologize at the end of this stint, because this start is absolutely horrendous. It's just the worst thing I've ever done, and I'm not feeling well. It's just going from bad to worse, just having those crashes, getting off track that many times already, and we're not even done yet with the off tracks. As we now go on to the straight, we almost hit the curb that we want to hit on the inside, but we don't quite. And you can just see in my driving style, I'm just very sad with my performance, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm wondering what I'm doing wrong already, and it's feeling like I've been in the car for about 50 minutes instead of like 5, or I was in the kart of course for practice and for qualifying, so I've been in the kart for quite a while, but this is just feeling horrendous. And going onto this little straight, it is going to get worse. Trying to brake late and having a bit of a mistake, we just slide straight on into the wall there, and again my hands up. I'm feeling terrible. I thought I was done with the terrible mistakes, but this is off track number 4, and that means we're trying to get on, but the mud is just preventing me actually from getting on. So we're trying to now go on the left through the grass, but the car slides out underneath me, and we're gonna have to again push it a little bit to get it on track as someone now approaches. So maybe we're getting lapped again, or someone that was behind, I don't know, but we are definitely in last, because I will also finish my stint in last. So that is not something I'm proud of or something that I want, but we're gonna be pushing on now. We're gonna be very careful not to make this many mistakes and not have 2 off tracks in 1 lap again, as we now go onto that start finish straight, and we're gonna go across the line. It's gonna be a very sad 3-minute 20 lap time, the worst lap we're going to set all day. So that is something we have in the pocket, and now we can only go faster, although we have not had a clean lap yet. Every lap we have been off track, so we're gonna try for a clean lap now. Lap 4, our first maybe clean lap, we'll see, and then we'll try to set quicker and quicker lap times. I'm still in a bad headspace, but I'm trying to do everything I can. Now my teammates aren't the best in the wet either. Omabas, who is going to be taking over next, I think, is also not the greatest in the wet. He'll do his best, but he'll also have a few off tracks, although his off tracks are a little bit less bad than mine. He'll mostly stay on the runoff and not get as deep into the grass as I am, meaning he'll lose less time to the karts around, which is good, as we at the end of the straight again try to go for that curb. Again, a bit of understeer, can't quite manage it, but I am now actively trying to hit that curb. My other teammate Samuel will be very steady, he'll not have as many off tracks. I think as we were talking he didn't have a GoPro, so I'm not sure how he did on track. I just saw what he did. He looked quite decent and he managed to gain a few positions in his stint actually, so he is going to be doing very well. But a recap of the race and a recap from my stint on to the next stint will actually come in the next race or in the next video, as we get overtaken by someone who is lapping me. He gave me a thumbs up because he thought I went out of the way very well, although I just braked very early because I'm not confident and I didn't do it on purpose. He got by very easily, so that is a good thing. As we now go into the final corner, and that means this is going to be the first lap that we're not having an off track, so that is a very good and a very promising. So we now go across that start finish line. We're setting a 1:53.1, so our quickest lap this race as well, and that is looking very promising, although we do have another off track, a few off tracks still in front of us, but also some quite good laps, as you can see. As we now go onto the middle part of the lap, that left hand there feels quite sketchy. You have to get to the outside of the track and it feels like you can slide off at any moment, as we now have someone that is down our inside, but there's a yellow flag. No overtaking because someone's there on the barrier trying to get out, or actually there's a marshal there trying to rearrange them a little bit because there was someone that got straight on. As we now go into green flag running onto the straight, and at the end of the straight we brake, but nothing there. We're on the racing line and we go straight on here. There's no grip on that racing line, should have gone for the inside, straight on into the wall. Again, my hands going up, not understanding what is happening, but this was definitely my fault for staying on that slippery racing line. We're going backwards, trying to push that kart back onto the track, but again there's a little bit of a lip there. It's gonna be really difficult. You can also go around apparently, I didn't know that, so we're just trying to push it back on track, but you can see it's very difficult. No grip there, we have to kind of push it over that lip. This time not any marshal coming to help us, and we did manage to get it onto the concrete here, onto the runoff, the white and red, and then we can just go back into the kart and go back on track. So there we go, back on track with a few cars around, and now we're gonna be trying to get some clean laps in, and this time there will be a little bit more clean laps before we have our final off track. That was my own fault. Still, trying to follow the cars around is not really working. They're just so much quicker that I can't really stay with them, and that means we're gonna have to do our own thing. I'm trying to do the same thing every lap, but it is very difficult. I'm feeling very bad, very cold hands as well, as I only have these gloves that you can see on, nothing under there, nothing waterproof, and that means it's gonna be very cold, very wet as we get hit in the back. Someone quick trying to get through, not happy that I'm that slow, but I can't do anything about it, and it's their prerogative to just get by quickly. It's on them, and if they make a mistake or hit me in the back, I'm not gonna be feeling bad about it because it's their job to get around. They can just go around me any way they want. As we now go into lap 6, I'm gonna set another clean quick lap, or quick decent lap for my pace. Definitely not compared to the top runners. They're definitely a few seconds a lap at least quicker than I am, and that's if I have a clean lap. If I have a bad lap like the last lap, they're at least half a minute, if not more, well no, 40 seconds at least, 50 seconds faster than me every lap, so that's gonna add up on race time. And of course, you know, we're not gonna win it, but we're still trying to not get lost with the team, and we're definitely trying hard. Gonna need my teammates to do a good job in their stints. We're all doing 2 stints for about 30 minutes per stint, maybe a little bit longer. 3-hour race, 1-hour race time per person, as we now go to the inside of that corner where I went off last lap. So we definitely learned that we should not stick on the racing line there. I am getting better in the wet, although I'm still not that good. I do want to get quick quicker and quicker in the wet, and this weekend definitely helped me. Even these off-track events, even though they weren't fun, they were very educational. I have learned a lot about what I can do and what I should do when driving in the wet, and I say that every time I drive in the wet, which of course is true. You can learn a lot. I have been on track a few times now in the wet, but definitely not enough to consider myself even a decent driver in the wet. But I don't seek out the weekends. When they happen, they happen. But for now, I'm happy to stay on track when it's dry, and I'll deal with the rain when we have it. But for now, just having a clean lap again, the second clean lap out of 6, and we're going on to that start finish straight now. Let's see if we can get close to that 153. That is our best race lap yet. We go now across the line. It is going to be a 151.6, so a little bit of an improvement. Very well done. But then we go straight on, no grip. I brake on the same point I brake normally, but we go straight on quite quickly, quite hard into the barrier, and that was quite a big crash actually. And now we luckily do have a marshal that is coming towards us. He is not in a hurry, so he is just walking towards me slowly, and he's gonna help me push the guard, which is really handy because he has some boots on that will really give him some grip and that he can actually help. We talk a little bit. It was really quite fun talking to him while we were pushing the guard. He was very nice. He told me there was a lot of people off track. He had a lot of work to do, and I wished him good luck with the others, and I hoped to not see him again because I do want to stay on track. He of course had a little bit of a shortcut here because we went straight on, cut out a part of the track, but that is okay because we got the green light to do that from the marshal. Now this was actually our last off track. That was our own fault. We're gonna go off track one more time, but that's going to be because of a little bit of a crash. You'll see that coming up. For now, a few clean laps as we go way more to the inside, but still not hit that curb. Unfortunately, we've still not hit it. 7 laps in, and I've not been able to say I've hit that curb. I've hit the other curb on the inside. On the left, I did hit that, and that did help me. So now we should be able to set some good lap times. Not this lap, of course, but after this lap, there might be some quicker lap times incoming. Maybe I can get close to that 150.4. That is our personal best on this track, set during qualifying. So that would be good to go lower and maybe set the quickest lap we have been able to set during the race, as we've not, of course, as you've seen, been that quick. 7 laps in, a few more laps to go until my stint is over, and then I'll hand off the card to Omabas, who will do his best. He'll try to set some quick lap times just like me, and we'll see what he can do as we come back next week with stint 2 of this DRS race at Genk. A really quite fun circuit, and I think in the dry it will be even more fun. Some quite quick corners, some really good overtaking opportunities, and some good racing lines. Also some slow speed corners, and I just think this would be an incredible track in the dry. Maybe also with some quicker cars, that would be even cooler. But still, these cars that are the DRS cars are, I think, quite nice for this track. As we now have 5 more laps to drive after this one, let's see if we can get a new personal best. A 151.6 is decent, I think, but definitely not quick enough, and I want to get below those 1 minute 50 lap times. So we're gonna clean the GoPro a little bit, get the water off, because I remembered from previous races that was quite difficult to see sometimes. So there we go, clean GoPro. As we now go for the inside of the next corner, you can also go for the outside, of course, we've seen that. I prefer the inside, and I have made mistakes on the outside there. Definitely trying to avoid as much of the dry racing line as possible, so you have to sometimes cross it a little bit because it is, of course, in the middle of the track here. You kind of switch over to the dry part. So we now have someone down our inside. You can see how quick they are, trying to follow them. We go on to the dry racing line. It does actually work out, and we're side by side. He says slow down, and I say don't worry, I wasn't trying to make any move, wasn't planning on going down his inside. You can see how much quicker he is. He didn't want to battle me. He knows that he is quicker, and he just suggested that I slow down, make sure that everything's okay. And I did, of course, because I'm not in a position to fight anyone, especially if they're a lot quicker. If they're at the front, we definitely don't have the pace to fight them, so I'll just let them go, try to follow them. But you can see how quick quickly that gap has grown. And that means we do our own thing as we now go across the finish line with a 1:51.927. So we're close to our personal best. Let's see if we can beat it on the next lap, as we actually see quite big field spread here. Looking around the track, there's not a lot of people really together. The wet track definitely shows who's quick, who's less quick, and there is some groups of 2, maybe 3 cars together, but you can see they are quite spread out, and that means that is something that is actually quite good for us, as we're not gonna get freight trained by 7 or 8 cars, lose a lot of time, although I do of course lose a lot of time on my own, and I do think we could have been closer to the pack if it was dry, and maybe even fight in the top 25, 20. I don't know how good the drivers are, as we again go for the inside here and hit the curb there, but still bounce off of it. We do use the curb there on the inside. You can see there's always quite a big oversteer moment when you get off that curb. As you go over it, just unsettles the kart a little bit, but it's definitely quicker to go over it than go around it, as you have to make more meters and you have to wait to go on throttle. But this lap is looking quite decent through the left-hander here, though on the exit a little bit of oversteer, but we do manage to deal with it. Just a little snap there, and we go on the brakes for this very difficult corner, but again we do manage it quite decently. But we do have someone on the inside turn towards the outside. We just let them pass. It's no way of fighting them. They are just seconds a lap quicker. As you can see through the final corner now, braking late, we actually can stay kinda with him, but he has better drive out of the corner there, as you can see. Now going on to that start finish straight, what will this lap time be? It's gonna be an improvement. It's gonna be quite a decent improvement. 2 seconds off my best time, a 1:49.7. We're now improving again. That is really good to see. Let's see if this next lap can be even quicker than the last lap. This first part looking decently, cutting back on a good line there through the left-hander, staying wide. Just feels like you're gonna understeer into that dirt, but we just managed to do it, and trying to keep more speed through these left-handers here. Doing well, staying wide. Again, someone on the inside, a little bit of a bump, but we're gonna try to follow them. They can brake a lot later to me into this corner, but I don't dare to do that, because I went off into there of course 2 times. I don't want to go straight on again. I'm being very careful as we now immediately go for the inside line. Still actually this time managed to hit that inside curb there. You can see hooking the wheel around, and that helps massively, I noticed. So we're gonna be doing that the whole second stint. Still some oversteer on the exit, but we managed to deal with that as we now go through the middle part of this lap, approaching the left-hander here already and going through. It's looking quite decent. There's always a little bit of oversteer on the exit though, so we're gonna have to deal with that. It's not a snap like the last lap, and again 2 people just overtaking me onto that straight into the braking zone, but one of them goes off, so we go back past. The guy in orange though is through, and we're trying to follow him to the end of the lap. They actually go very wide onto that runoff. There's a lot of grip there. The guy that hit the dirt also coming back past, so not losing too much time as we're now approaching the final corner and going through that corner, coming onto the straight. We're just trying to get the power down as early as possible. Some oversteer there on exit, and we do a 1:48.830, so again a new quicker lap, and I do think it's the quickest lap we set on this stint. Now talking about this stint, it was very tough mentally because I went off track quite a lot, and I didn't really feel like I understood why. It felt like I was doing the same thing every lap. Of course I was not doing the same thing every lap. I was making a little bit of a mistake, doing some things a little bit different, so it's gonna be very tough if you don't feel like you understand, and we're gonna work on that for the next stint. Now, I did kind of apologize to my teammates after this stint that I did really badly. Luckily they also struggled in the conditions, and we're not gonna finish last this race, which is good. As we now also go into a yellow flag, you can see that there is a lot of people on track making mistakes, and during the yellow flag we almost get overtaken, actually hit someone and try to give them enough room, but they tried to overtake me because they didn't realize I was slowing down that much. Coming back on the mental struggles, really tough, and we're gonna try to reset. You just have to go again because we're gonna have to do another stint. We can't stay in this mentality for too long. We can't stay sad and angry at ourselves. We have to pick ourselves back up. That's what we're gonna try to do. Make sure we reset between stints and then try to get quicker and quicker as I now go past the pit building where I can see them saying 2 more laps. So we're gonna finish this lap, then do the next lap, and then come into the pit lane. Then we're gonna switch out, have a bit of a rest, make sure we get dry gloves, and then go again. Now going into the final corner, there's someone going to make a mistake actually on our right. 2 people crashing together, spun out, and they spin me out, hand in the air. Really annoyed at what happened there. I was doing well, and then suddenly they just had a crash, and I was involved in that, just a passenger there. And that means that going into our final full lap before we go into the pit, we do have an off track. It's gonna be a 1:57 lap time. Because of that, not gonna be as bad as the other laps. Could recover quite quickly, and going through the right hander again, someone hits us in the back. We're still not quick enough according to the other drivers, but I can't really go any quicker than I am going already because of these mental struggles. I can't really find any more pace, and we're gonna find more pace in the next stint. It's not gonna be 10 or 5 seconds, but it's gonna be a second at least, and that's gonna be very encouraging. Now trying to follow again the drivers in front, but no confidence. You can see they have way more confidence with what they're doing, although we do have a great exit onto that back straight following the driver in front. So let's see if we can follow them through the right hander, stick into their slipstream. Even with the wetness, we can just follow in that slipstream. They brake, we try to follow, we hook the kart around that curve really nicely. They enter into the next curve though, we miss it, and that means you can see I'm struggling with traction. They're driving away. We could follow them for a little bit, and they're going way wider through this right hander, so definitely some time to gain there. Through the left hander we can just about see they do take that outside curbing, those stones as well, which I'm not taking, and that cost me a little bit of time. So you can see they're just driving away from me. We're going through the right hander at the end of the little straight, just taking it really relaxed, making sure we're not making any mistakes on this final lap. And next lap we're gonna come into the pit. Now my team did actually look at my lap times, see how I was doing, and saw that it wasn't going great. They saw my body language going through the pit building, or going past the pit building I must say, and they decided that a little bit of a shorter stint would be in order. So they're gonna pull me in a little bit earlier than I expected, which is okay of course, because we do need to be quick as a team. As again through the right hander we get a tap in the back, a lot of people just hitting me in the back. I'm just not quick enough according to them. Like I said before, we're trying our best, and now we're gonna go through this final lap, then go into the pit, and then just dry up, especially the gloves. We're gonna find some place to warm them up and get them nice and dry for the next stint. Now let's make sure we don't make any mistakes on that in lap. That would be a shame, just losing a lot of time at that in lap, but we're gonna do our best, and I think it's going to work out quite nicely. It's going to be a decent lap, not the quickest of course. The pit lane entry is just before the final corner. You have to almost do an entire lap, not unlike Lelystad where you have it right after the start finish in the timing line. So that means we're almost there, just half a lap to go as we get cleanly overtaken through the inside there. That's a really quick driver. You can see them leaning a lot. They're definitely one of the quickest out there. You can see them just massively gaining time. Maybe one day if I get to enough practice I might be as quick as them, but then I'll have to go karting a little bit more often. For now, just happy with the time I have on track, and when I can go I will of course go. Now getting the focus on the entry of the pit lane to do it right. We go through the right hander here, and then the left hander, then on the left we go into the pit lane. We're gonna make sure we're not too quick. We drift out wide, put our hand up to signal that we go in. We almost kind of miss it, go wide, and then you have a little bit of these bumps you can kind of drive through. So we're gonna go through them instead of over them. It just feels a little bit nicer. And then we're gonna go park the kart at the fuel bay. We're gonna get weight, no problems with the weight, and then we're gonna take a little moment for ourselves. This was a very difficult, and that is what you can see here, just a little bit of reflecting after this heat. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for the second part of this race, and comment what you thought of my mistakes and what you thought of my mental battles. And then I'll see you next week. Bye bye.